All right. How are we doing today, my friends? Welcome back to Real Estate Bites. Coming at you every Friday at noon, bringing you local real estate statistics plus some insights where we like to pull back the curtain on the industry a little bit, talk about some things that go on behind the scenes. Before I jump into our normal meat and potatoes, I got to show you guys something. Let me get this banner up here real quick. All right. The banner that I just put up is for TNT Metal Works. My friend Tom over at TNT gifted me this beautiful sign today. So I have my first wall decoration that I'll be getting up behind me here. I forgot the appropriate tools today, so that's why I'm just showing you here. But look at this beautiful thing, man. TNT Metalworks right here in the greater Cleveland area. You see that banner below. If you want customized, personalized metalwork pieces, he paints these things. I asked him, I just like this gray metal finish, and I didn't want him to paint anything, but I've had him paint pieces that I've used as closing gifts for some of my clients. Have them paint in multiple different colors. Very very talented Tom over at TNT Metal. He can do all kinds of stuff. I've seen him do all kinds of beautiful work. So again, check out that banner. Write down Tom's contact information there. Get a hold of him if you would like some beautiful like this around the house, or maybe a nice Christmas gift for friends and family. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Tom. Thank you very, very much. It's beautiful and I love it, man. Okay, let's get into our statistics. That's where we always start here on Real Estate Bites. Let me share my screen with you. All right, here we go. All right, so last week, well, before we get into that, there are currently 424 condos and single family homes on the market in Lorain County. You can see that the inventory, despite this being typically the slow season, continues to creep up incrementally. And I think that might have something to do with the diminishing demand. Even though we have higher inventory, you can see we have 55 sales over the past week, 55 closings. We've only been in the 15s 3 times since I started doing this. This is episode 18. So we've only been in the 50s 3 times, and that's in the past, month and a half. We've got 53 here, 54 2 weeks ago, 55 this week. The median home value for sales this past week was $260,000. Average square foot price, $143.69. The city of Lorain led us in the county with the most closings at 11. The city of Elyria had the smallest value sale at $76,400. And the largest sale goes back to the city of Avon, $924,824. So like we do every week, let me show you what that house looked like in Avon. All right, so this was brand new construction, built by Petros Homes in Westlake, or in Avon. Believe this is in the Burr Oak development, though I may be mistaken there. I think it's in the Burr Oak development. The pictures that you see here are from the model home. It's not the actual home, but you can see what they do here. For almost $1 million, you have a beautiful home, custom work throughout the house, big, beautiful open spaces. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what $1 million will get you by Petros Homes in the city of Avon. Everything, of course, is high-end, state-of-the-art, on-trend, and beautiful. All right. We will jump back into these statistics. Let me get these stats back up. We'll finish it out. So we had been under 100% sale price to list price ratio. It was 5 weeks running. And this past week, we jumped back up over 100%. So prices remain steady, even though demand is diminishing, as you see here with the 55 sales with increasing inventory. You put a nice house on the market, you're selling it at or above list price. There's just so little inventory. 100.78% list price to sale price ratio. This last week, home stayed on the market an average of 43 days. And this morning, the market for the mortgage interest rates on a 30-year conventional note opened at 7.15%. So we see some improvement there. This is the lowest that we have seen since August. This 7.07 was back in August, the end of August. So 7.15% is the lowest we've seen in the last 2.5 to 3 months. All right. Very good. So for this week's topic, I want to talk about home security. If you've heard me talk before, security is a big deal to me. Love you people. I want you to stay safe. I want your kids to stay safe. Lock your doors, right? So for this week, I wanted to bring on a guest. We could not do it together live. She had other obligations. So I did this pre-recorded earlier in the week. And right now, I'm going to bring it to you. So here is my conversation with Julie Salness, another member of Right Sales Team. All right. Julie Salness is an agent on Right Sales Team. I wanted to bring her on this week to talk about home security because in addition to being a real estate agent, Julie has also been a police dispatcher for the last 11 years. And so in your time, Julie, you and your team have taken hundreds of calls regarding break-ins at a home. So I wanted to talk to you about that today. But first of all, welcome to Real Estate Bites. I'm glad you're on.
Thanks.
Very cool. So tell me, to start off with, what are the most common points of a home where people will break in?
Obvious ones: front door, back door, windows. Obviously, if they're unlocked, and it goes without, think it'd be obvious, but a lot of people leave their doors unlocked. So
yeah, a lot of people that I talk to, they say that almost as a sense of pride in their neighborhood, right? I haven't locked my door in 15 years, or I leave my garage door open at night, which, you know, it's great if you live in a neighborhood like that, but definitely not a practice that I would suggest following.
And those neighborhoods are targets. So
yeah, lock your doors, folks.
Yep.
So Julie, tell us some ways that folks at home could work to prevent a breaking and entering or a burglary.
Well, your first, like I said, should be obvious, but not always. Lock your doors, lock your windows. You want to have one good thing: lighting. Lights by every door, motion sensors, have a Ring camera. Those are great, or any of those types of brands. Anything that will, if they see it, they don't want to get caught. They don't want their face on camera. So they'll head on to the next target.
Sounds great. What about signage around the house?
Put a beware of dog sign up. If you have a dog, if you don't have a dog, it doesn't matter. Put an alarm sign in your yard, whether you have an alarm system or not. If they see those, they're usually a deterrent. They don't want to mess with that. Very good.
So, you know, Ring systems or like an alarm system sometimes can either be an expensive, you know, buy-in price to really outfit your house with like a full Ring setup.
Sure.
Or, you know, things like ADT or something. They might come out there and install the hardware for free, but it can be, you know, you're going to have to pay for a subscription, right? A yearly subscription. Yeah. And those prices can get pretty high. So what are some ways that folks could just make some basic minor modifications to their home to provide more security?
Pretty simple and pretty inexpensive. You want to get like a bar that goes in between the tracks of your sliding glass door. They sell those maybe, I don't know, $10, $20 in between that range. You want to get something like any kind of door reinforcement. They have strike plates. So something like that he's showing you now, that just makes it just reinforces your door. So very hard for them to enter from the outside, very hard to kick it in, force entry. You can get a strike plate that's a little bit more, you'd have to take off, your lock mechanism, add that on there. It's just got a few extra longer, more stable screws, something like that. Just easy things like that. You can, if you don't know how to do it, just YouTube how to install it. Obviously the bar that he showed you first, or even a long bar that, like I said, fits in the track of your sliding glass door. Super easy. I mean, that one's what, $9?
Yeah. So this one
easy.
here is probably like the least expensive, easiest install. So everyone recognizes this as a striker plate on the inside of their door jamb. Well, normally, right, they're only about this big, about the size, just a little bit more, than that hole there.
And short screws that they come with.
Yes. So you buy like what, a 2.5, 3-inch screw, and you replace the 2 short screws with 6 long screws into your jamb. And this adds a tremendous amount of security because, from what I've read, a lot of people, if they can't find an opening, it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to just kick in somebody's door jamb. And it's not as loud as you might think it might be. So this is a pretty common way that I've read that people like to break into somebody's home as well.
Yep.
One more thing I wanted to show people too. Another common thing, right, would be people who would maybe break open a window, bust into a window. And so they sell this film right here. That's a shatterproof film that you could install right on the inside of your window. And if people want to bust it with a rock or a brick or whatever, it's going to shatter, of course, but the glass is going to stay in place because of the film. It's not going to fall away. They're still going to have this barrier. They're still going to have this barrier that they have to get through. And, you hit that a couple times and it doesn't fall. That could be enough to have people run away.
They're moving on, right?
Yeah. Okay, very good. Thank you for all that. So how about some advice for people when they're going out on vacation?
So anytime you go out of town for an extended period, just call your local police department and tell them that you're going out of town. Tell them, obviously you're going to give them your name and address, phone number, but you're going to tell them for how long you're gone for. You're going to tell them if you have an alarm system on your home. Tell them if you are going to have lights on timers, if you are going to have any vehicles in your driveway, so that they know those are familiar vehicles they're okay to look for. If you have like an emergency key holder, which is just emergency contact. So a friend, a family member, a neighbor, if they can just kind of make frequent stops to your house, just kind of check in, let the officers know, let your police department know that which car is theirs, give them their name, their phone number, because if anything is suspicious or anything does happen, they want someone they can call that can be there quickly. And also if you've got someone coming over to your house and they see something like, it looks like the door's been messed with or whatever, they can give you a heads up. Let them have access to if you have a Ring camera or a system similar, let them have access to it. That way, if it goes off, they can call the police right away if something's, suspicious. So obviously the police don't have access to that, but if you give someone local access to it, they can call an alert for you. And then let them know when you're back, let them know if anything looks out of place or, anything like that. Speaking of timers, when you put your lights on timers, kind of stagger them. So don't have them come on and off the exact same time every day.
Why?
Because people do case houses and they'll sit there and they watch. And if it's an obvious, like, oh, that's weird every day, it's going on at 5 o'clock, I mean, it sounds silly, but people, and it might be a little extreme. People might not watch it that much, but you never know. Some people do. This is what they do.
You're just simulating like that you're still home, because yes. I mean, people are using timers in general. They're probably coming on the same time all day, every day, but you're
Right.
talking about buying a timer specifically to make sure your lights are going on when you're out of town, and then
Yes.
staggering those on and off times to make it look like it's random.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got it. Excellent. This is great information, Julie. Is there anything else, any final thoughts that you have?
I would say something as simple as if your kids in sports, everyone wants to like put their sign up in their yard. My kid's in this football on this football team, whatever. And there's like, that city is going to the championship or whatever. And there's a big game and everybody in town knows about it. And your sign has your kid's name on it. They know you're going to be at that game, So it's almost like advertising, like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a few hours. Obviously if it's a late night game, it's going to be dark out. So again, maybe don't have your sign in your yard, or just take it out of your yard prior of the week leading up to that game. Have your lights on, make sure your doorbell system's charged, all those things.
Yeah, in that vein too,
but people don't think of these things.
Yeah, in that vein, don't post your vacation pics on social media until
you're home. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that.
A state and you're posting your vacation pics, again, you're advertising to any would-be burglar, hey, we're gone. Our home's right for the picking.
Right. Yeah. And just back to the beginning here, a lot of break-ins actually happen during the day. So when you're at work or when your kids are at school and they think the house is empty. So that's actually when it happens. Like, I think I saw something between like 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. because by 10, everyone's gone. 3, they're safe. A lot of people don't get off work till 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So it's actually during the day in broad daylight when people are trying to enter homes. So in that case, lighting might not be your best friend because it's already light outside, but definitely have some type of door reinforcements like we talked about, and if you can get some type of system. I mean, we just had Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but if you can get some type of, next time you see a deal, just grab one of those, even if it's just like your back door or your front door, wherever you think it'd be easiest for them to enter,
And on that note, maybe a good exercise for people at home is stand on your sidewalk, taking a good long look at your home and run through the exercise of, if I were a burglar, how would I break into my house? Where is the place where I could hide and not be seen as I'm trying to get into my own home? And that should help you prioritize where you might need to reinforce first.
Right. I mean, we have a privacy fence, which you'd think like, oh, it's a privacy fence, they can't get in there. But if they're behind the privacy fence somehow, it kind of gives them cover. So like that door, we make sure it's always secured.
A 6-foot privacy fence is probably not going to keep out the most determined of burglars.
No.
I mean, it can't even really keep out deer.
It doesn't. No, it does not. They still get in the yard.
Julie, I'm not going to keep any more of your time. One more question before you go. How long are the Christmas lists that your boys have given you?
Well, they change almost daily. So
okay.
I can't
hard to keep up with.
I can't keep up with it. And yeah, all the video systems, all the, shoes, clothes, and then everything. My 8-year-old likes to change it up on me every day. So,
and they get exponentially more expensive every year, don't they?
Yeah, extremely. Yes. Yeah, because they each want their own game system.
Of course.
Yeah,
it has to be that way. Share? No.
Yeah, I know. That's
very
fun.
Good. Julie, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming on with us and sharing some of this wisdom. And look forward to the next time we have you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
So that was my conversation with Julie Solis, a member of Right Sales Team, in regards to home security. Please share this information with friends and family. It's important. Stay safe out there. Victims become victims because they're not prepared, and they're not prepared because they don't think it's ever going to happen to them. Right. And so the vast majority of people who have become victims of something like this did not think this would ever happen to them. And it did. You know, these things happen because no one is expecting them to happen. So be prepared out there, guys. Okay, so that's it. Thank you, Julie, for coming on with me earlier in the week and recording that and sharing some of that great information. Once again, thank you, Tom and TNT Metalworks for this amazing, beautiful metal sign. Next week, let me put his banner back up again one more time so that if you want TNT's contact information, there it is. Next week, that beautiful sign will be hanging back behind me. Again, I just need to get the right tools in here. But until then, hey, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I love you, people.